Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to get straight into it. So first I applied the MECCA Cosmetica Lit From Within primer. This is a really great primer if you're wanting a glowier complexion, which is what I was after in this look. For the foundation, I'm popping on the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 225 medium buff. This is the dewy and smooth one, so definitely not the matte one. I didn't use that one. And I just mixed it in with the NARS Hot Sand Illuminator just to sheer it out a tiny bit and make the foundation look a little bit more glowy. I'm applying it with just a standard foundation brush and then blending it out or buffing it out with a damp beauty blender. Now I'm going in with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. This is one of my favourite concealers for underneath the eyes. Just popping it on and then blending it out with a beauty sponge. This one is from Melissa Sassine Cosmetics and Model Rock. Yeah, really great for underneath the eyes. It's really good if you like applying powder and like baking underneath the eyes as well, because you can get right up close to the lower lash line. So on the chin and on the center of the forehead, I'm applying the same concealer just so it's highlighted evenly across my face. So nice and bright underneath the eyes and nice and bright in the center of my face as well. This is a slightly darker concealer color. This is the one in Ginger, so the same concealer but a darker color, just to hide any blemishes or any spots that I want a little bit more coverage on. To set my under eyes, I'm using Hourglass Diffused Light, so it's like a light yellow kind of color. I personally don't like baking too much. I just find it is a little bit too dry, and as I was saying, I wanted a really nice glowy complexion, so I didn't want to use too much powder. This is another one of my favorite products. This is another Hourglass powder. This one's in the shade Luminous Light, and I'm just popping that on all over. It's a really nice kind of shimmery powder, so it leaves a nice glow to the skin. I'm now using STILA bronzer in the shade Light, just to bronze up my skin a little bit more and give it a little bit more warmth. So when I bronze up my skin, I don't just apply it underneath my cheeks or on my cheeks. I like to take it on top of my forehead a little bit, because that's where I find where the sun would naturally hit, so you want a nice bronze glow there. I also pop a little bit underneath the jaw just to create a little bit more shape as well, and just to kind of define my nose a bit, I just popped a bit on my nose as well. This is the same bronzer but in a darker shade, so this is the medium shade, and I'm just applying that underneath my cheekbones, so this is going to create a little bit more shape, so it's going to be a contour, so it's more of a cooler tone, more of a darker colour. So now to give my skin a little bit more colour, I'm just going in with MAC Warm Soul Blush. This is another one of my favourite blushes because it's not too pink, it's not too neutral, but it leaves a nice kind of glow or sheen to the skin. For highlight, I'm going to use two highlighters, but first I'm just applying MAC Soft and Gentle onto the top of my cheekbones, and then later on I'll go in with another blush as well, just to make it really intense. So first I'm just going to brush my brows up so they're all kind of going the same direction. The first product that I'm popping on in my brow is Coquette eyeshadow from MAC. I'm just putting that through the front of the brow and I'm just brushing it through, and then to define the end of the brow a little bit more, I'm using Espresso, and they're both eyeshadows from MAC, but you can use any lighter brown and any darker brown color. That'll work just as fine. To make the brows nice and crisp and make sure that they look nice and neat, I'm just taking a concealer. This is just one of the MAC Studio Finish concealers underneath the brow and just blending it out. I'm also going to use this as my eyeshadow primer as well. So I've just popped that all over, and then I'm just using a skin tone coloured powder, whether it be a face powder or an eyeshadow powder, and I'm just going to set that. So for my transition colour in my crease, I'm going in with a Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade Bake Sale. It's not a really warm eyeshadow, but it's not like a cooler tone either. I wanted to keep the look really neutral. I didn't want it to be too warm, so that's why I chose that colour. And I'm just taking a little bit underneath the eye as well. I like to kind of mirror what I've done on the top, on the bottom as well. To build up depth on the outer corner of the eye nice and quickly, I'm just going in with a MAC pencil in the shade Custard, and then just blending it out and buffing it in. That way when we put on eyeshadow over the top, it's super quick and it's already really dark. You don't have to go in and put on a few layers of eyeshadow. Now to set that pencil, because we don't want it to crease or anything, I'm just going in with a MAC eyeshadow. It's called Brown Down. It's a nice and neutral kind of color. It's not too warm again, but it is quite deep. So I'm just popping that in the outer corner and then blending it in with a nice fluffy brush. One of my favorite fluffy kind of crease brushes are the MAC 217 brushes. I've got quite a few different ones of those. So just keep blending until everything's nice and soft and you don't have any harsh lines. So to make it a little bit darker on the outer corner, I'm going in with MAC Embark eyeshadow. So it's just a little bit darker than the one we used before, and just applying that in the outer corner and really blending it out and working it in. So now I'm popping on a little bit of concealer. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer, just on with like a synthetic brush. So I'm just popping that on the eye and applying MAC Naked Pigment over the top. That's applying a concealer underneath is just going to make that lighter colored pigment just pop a little bit more. So that's what I use to kind of make my colors pop. So I applied a darker color for the darker areas and then a light color underneath lighter eyeshadows. I'm going in with, just to blend it all out, I'm going in with Embark eyeshadow as well. If you ever feel like your eyeshadows aren't looking as blended, I always go in with just a completely clean eyeshadow brush and just really buff it through so there are no harsh lines at all. And I find that that can really help your look, help your eyeshadow look a lot more advanced, I guess. Using that Custard eye pencil underneath the eye and blending it out with a nice little fluffy brush underneath there. That's just going to make it a little bit more intense. This is where we're kind of at with the eyes now, but to set that eye pencil, I'm just going in with that Embark shade that we were using before, the darkest brown on the outer corner. Just buffing it in underneath the eye, and I'm taking it all the way in. I'm not doing it just on the outer corner, I'm bringing it all the way into the eye. For my inner corner highlight, I'm just popping on STILA Kitten eyeshadow on the inside corner of the eye and on the brow bone as well. On a fair skin tone, I also really like using it as a highlighter shade as well. So I just quickly glazed over the eyeliner. I didn't explain it or I didn't pop it in this video at all because I'm going to create another video that really goes in depth on how I do it on myself and how I do it on clients as well, and that might be a little bit easier for you guys to do eyeliner. I just popped on some mascara as well, just quickly. That's not too important though, because everyone knows how to put on mascara. This is one of my favorite highlights. It's from Inglot. It's called their Face and Body Sparkle. In any of the shades, they're really nice. You don't have to use the exact same one I did. You can use a lighter one or a darker one. And for the lips, I'm just popping on Cherish lipstick from MAC and then Strip Down lip liner from MAC. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And that is the final look. Thank you so much for watching this video on my neutral glam makeup. I'm really happy with the way everything turned out. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. All the products I use will be in the description bar as well. So thanks guys, see you later.